Jamaicans who have spent the time to sit down and think about this supreme law we call the Constitution and how it can be improved. So, as I've been mentioning, going forward, you're going to be hearing me interview a number of different groups and people. Now, Haile McHale-CORJ is a former independent parliamentary candidate in Westmoreland, and he has written a draft constitution with some quite different changes that he's proposing. Thank you so much for joining us on Beyond the Headlines. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Dan.
Tell me, first of all, this is a whole heap of work. Tell me why you did this.
A what?
It's a whole heap of work. Tell me what called you to do this, why you did this.
Yes, I've been inspired from 1991 to get involved in the constitutional reform process. I actually wrote to Justice James Carr, retired Justice James Carr, took the letter to him recommending that he abolish this constitution, write a brand new one based upon the Holy Bible, the Ethiopian Constitution, and the United Nations Constitution. I took a copy of the 1965 Constitution to him, and he resigned 2 weeks after, and about 2 months after that, they disbanded the commission. Now I'm still advocating for that. Trying to build on this foundation that has caused us so many problems is still another waste of time. What we need to do is throw that document and write a brand new one, like onto what I have done. You have seen it.
I have, and I have it in front of me, and clearly, I mean, it's a 38-page document listener, so we're not going to be able to go through all or even most of it, but I just wanted to zero in on one or two of the very topical suggestions right now. So as you know, the whole discussion right now is what we should do in terms of a head of state. Now, you are suggesting that we would have an elected prime minister who would also be head of state. Tell me the role you're viewing, you have in mind for the head of state.
In respect of the head of state, we have the sovereignty of the country vested in the citizens of the country, which is upheld by the prime minister as head of state. He's elected nationally along with the deputy prime minister. At the same time, 10% of the electorate can petition for his removal, and that is very important. Also, the reason for having a prime minister is that we have been putting in this constitution based upon something I saw from Gordon Robinson in February 24, 2019, Lena, about 10 ministries. So if we have ministers, then we should have a prime minister, and the office of prime minister is the head of these 10 ministries. So that's the rationale behind it. And then we'd have senators elected by...
Hold on, just before you go on. So you are suggesting that both the prime minister as well as the deputy prime minister should be directly elected by citizens. Why do you think that's important?
Right across the island. If we are talking about a head of state, then the state should have a say as to who our head is. So we have a direct vote. And that election is on a set date in February, every 4 years.
So fixed election date?
Yes, a set date.
Mm-hmm.
We have put it here in the Constitution that is the third Thursday in February. And nomination day is the second Thursday in January of the same year. So we'll be using the November 30 voters' day.
So you would have then the one person who would be both head of state and head of government?
Well, actually, head of state and head of government, it's okay. Because remember, 10% of the electorate can recall him if he doesn't do well. Also, he being having the power to appoint these 9 ministers. The House of Representatives and the Senate, a majority vote, can remove any of those senators, any of those ministers that he has appointed. So there's checks and balances.
So we wouldn't have any equivalent to Governor General, a president, anything like that. Just the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and then the Council of Ministers, as you call it.
Concerning the model that I'm seeing about president, who elects the president? You see, the people elect the Prime Minister directly, and then what? The Prime Minister appoints somebody to be a rubber stamp, a figurehead for him. I don't understand that. I don't see how that makes sense. It's like the Governor General represented the Queen, that it makes more sense because she is the head of state, or the monarchy then is the head of state, and he's out here as the the absentee, representing the absentee owner. And then you have the workers on the slave plantation, headed by a bucky master, which is the prime minister. We can understand that. But we have a republic now. We are supposedly independent now. You understand? We don't need that kind of thing. We directly vote for our head of state, and he's mandated to uphold our sovereignty.
And you're also saying, as you mentioned, that we should also have recall. We should be able to impeach and remove both the prime minister and the deputy prime minister, you think, if, for whatever reason, if we don't think they're doing what they should do.
If we have both of them?
No, I'm saying you are also suggesting that the Constitution should provide for the right to recall, to impeach and remove the prime minister and the deputy prime minister, right?
No, as I said before, it's a matter of direct election of the prime minister.
No, man, I move past the election. I'm saying you are also proposing that having been elected, that the voters should also be able to remove the prime minister.
Yes, it says so in Article 30B.
Why do you think that should be included?
Because we have to, as we say, cannot have a tyrant there for 4 years and we can't do anything about it. He must be held accountable. And at the same time, there's a limit of 3 months, 90 days, from which the Supreme Court receives the petition to making a decision as to whether the petition is to be upheld or denied. So it's not like he's going to be there forever and the court case is dragging out 10 years. No.
All right,
90 days, and we decide if we want to yes or no the Supreme Court based on the legality of the petition.
Why it's important to you? You said 10 ministries and you named them: National Security and Defense, Education, Culture, Youth and Sport, Health and Environment, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ministry of Job Creation and Social Security, Ministry of Transport and Works, Ministry of Land, Wood, Water, Housing, Infrastructure, and then the Office of the Prime Minister. Why do you think we need fixed ministries that wouldn't change every time you have a change of government?
Well, in terms of the finance minister being elected, elected representative, that's the people's money. So he should be...
No, man, listen to what I'm asking you. You are saying we should only have 10 ministries that you have named and you've put them in the Constitution. Why did you put that in? Why do you only want 10 named ministries? Why shouldn't every new prime minister be able to name a whole different set of ministries?
What I have realized with this is that I saw it, as I said, an article by Bob Robinson. When I assessed all these ministries that we now have, all of them can fit someplace inside of this. As one student asked, what about the Minister of Gender? I said, youth covers gender. Okay? Climate change would be under health and environment. Ministry of Trade and Industry, all industries. Tourism is an industry. Agriculture is an industry. All of them fall under trade and industry. We need to cut down on the expense and the overlap. That's it.
You also, you want to see the Caribbean Court of Justice made our final court. Why is that?
In the what?
The Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, made our final court. Why is that?
Yes, in the beginning of the CCJ, Jamaica invested in having it. And then they started to make it a political football. However, the Shanique Mary case showed us that it works, and it can work. So we are having a similar situation in the Caribbean where all of us are descended from some amount of slavery and European domination. So we group together, we understand our laws, we make them. And this is like our international court outside of the country. Okay? Remember now, people, this constitution is a total revolution, a different way of mentally emancipated way of thinking. It doesn't have anything to do with what the European standards are. This was built upon how I have been inspired based upon all these things that I've been seeing. I'm 63 years old. Okay? So I understand what is happening. So we have an international court that we can go to. Up to now, we don't have a judge or a Jamaican on the court, but I'm assured that we have...
No, we have a Jamaican. On which court? Which court?
Thanks for that correction.
Sorry, no, on which court you mean?
Okay, thanks for that correction.
Which court? Which court?
Uh-huh.
Which court are you referring to? Which court you're talking about?
Caribbean court.
No, man, we have a Jamaican on the CCJ.
There's a Jamaican there?
Yeah, Justice Saunders is there. I have to leave it there. I'm out of time. But tell me something. If people are interested and want to look at your draft constitution, where can they find it?
Before you go, Diana, one point. I am planning to continue taking it to the people. The people have given me information because I engage people all the time about it. And I have a WhatsApp number that I'm sending information to them. So they can see me along the road and get some information about it. All right.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Yeah, man, talking to Haile WTPPCORJ, talking to us about his draft constitution that he has put together. Some interesting points in it, including, I didn't even get to his proposal that the maroon ancestral homelands be included in the constitution. I found that really interesting as well. We're actually going to be talking to the Maroons about their perspective on constitutional reform, hopefully tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. The conversation continues. This is a program to listen to if you're interested in this issue. And even if you're not, because we'll make you interested. Stay tuned. We'll soon come.